The High Dominion of Syndar, having just set forth in neighboring star systems, finds themselves suddenly confronted with the dire threat of mass extinction. But they found a ruined mega shipyard, silver lining, maybe? Hello, Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Stellaris Galactic Paragons in our High Dominion 2 series. Very interesting beginning to have the mass extinction through the ages event thrown at us right away, as it typically is. When you get this event, it arrives in the beginning of the game. But we are going to push toward the locations listed as quickly as possible. And it looks like, oh wow, right away we have a new tradition and a new event at our archaeology site. Starbase influence cost minus 10% is our only choice, and that's good actually, because it will enable me to expand faster in relevant directions. Speaking of that, have I already given the order to build? Yes, I have. So what we really need, yeah, this scientist is still looking at this archaeology site. Deja Vu dig. While clearing away rubble and rocks, a peculiar discovery was made. An alien tool that most closely resembled a common pickaxe was found crushed between craggy rocks. If the mining technology retained by previous diggers was on par with that type of equipment, the previous digging of the shaft, a shaft hundreds of meters deep, shows a remarkable commitment. What is it in the depth that is worthy of such excursion? So keep digging. What could possibly go wrong? I had one of my community members freak out during the premiere for this series because they realized that this archaeology site was going. I don't recall exactly which it is, but we're going to go with it for the story. So, you know, Corb, head of research, good luck. In the meantime, we are building an outpost in Sugenia. We're on speed 2 for now, but if things get a little bit crazy, we'll step back down to speed 1. Staying at a somewhat leisurely pace so far. Here's our leading council.
Construction complete.
Executor Candrith, Corb, daughter of Dirk, and Satu, daughter of Nock. Let's go ahead and build mining stations and research stations there. It looks like we will be able to expand into Sheraton very soon.
Anomaly found.
And we have a couple of things here. Impressive structures litter a small area on the surface of Sheraton 4A, practically begging for some archaeological work. Okay, let's look into that then. It won't take too long. Anthras mandates. You have a job opportunity, and I've already built a research lab on Ferris mandate. I kind of want to build another, to be honest. Let's go ahead and do that, because we have enough consumer goods to get away with it right now, and I want a nice early game boost. So since these folks are looking for jobs, I'm going to give them one, specifically research jobs. Now, Ferris mandate is just needing additional housing. So what I'm going to do here is something that I do quite often to address housing needs, especially when amenities are completely okay, and I'm not like in dire need of another certain building. I will often build a district type based on a coming need. Now, of course, using, you know, the purchasing of a district and the building of a district to provide housing when there's overcrowding is not like the most direct solution. You can actually build city districts which have a lot more housing than your work districts, or you can build, if you have the slots for it, you can build apartments and you can build things that actually provide large amounts of housing. In this case, what I'm going to do is build something that will provide a little bit of housing and a job that I'm going to need someone to fill relatively soon. And in this case, I'm going to make that an industrial district. So those workers will provide both alloys and consumer goods once a new worker is available to fill that job. So I am creating a job that is not going to be taken by anyone. And you want to be careful how much you do that. But that is usually the approach that I take in those situations. An archaeological site in our empire has been fully excavated. Let's see how this turned out. Deja Vu dig. Reaching the bottom of the excavated shaft, an interesting but disappointing discovery was made. Finding scorched pieces of explosive charges and a manual detonator, it quickly became evident that the collapsed rocks filling the shaft was due to deliberate sabotage. The theory is that some alien civilization uncovered an old burial ground of sorts. Driven by jealousy or spite, someone found something objectionable with this and proceeded to sabotage the operation by crushing it under thousands of tons of rock. What was originally found and why it was covered up remains unclear. Technology gained. Subterranean.
Technology secured.
colonization. So now we can clear sinkholes right away. That's pretty nice, actually. Hang on, let's see if we have sinkholes on any planets. I don't think we actually do. No, we don't, because we don't have really those types of planets, but now we have that for free. Now, of course, those those prompts can throw you off sometime when you're accustomed to, you know, seeing that pop up, like, oh, okay, I've finished a research project, let me go select something new. And no, it's you haven't actually completed a research project that you were researching yourself. You just got a free technology, and there's nothing new to pick yet. Every single time. Throws me off. Abandoned amusement park. Amusement park, rather. The structures on Sheridan 4A are not as old as we first believed. It seems to be a playground or amusement park of some sort. Science Officer Gitu, son of Baga, notes that many of the contraptions are highly complex creations that we can learn much from, and that to the builder's alien eyes, this might have been a cutting-edge sensor array or even a gigantic art installation. Regardless, to us Sundrians, it mostly looks like a place where you would take your young and let them amuse themselves. So, society research and engineering research gained a little bit more engineering research than society, which, if we take a look, trying to learn my new hotkeys, that's not too bad. We're 6 months away from a lump sum of unity and 4 months away from our army and worker pop resource boost. All right, so Syndar Prime does have the ability to build a new
Construction complete.
building of some kind, but I'm going to hold off until there's actually a need for a job.
Anomaly found.
A vessel of some kind has crashed into the surface of this asteroid. Wreckage from the craft can still be found within the impact crater. Yep, research it. So this is our researcher that has the anomaly discovery chance boost, and it is currently paying off because they are finding all the anomalies. We have another archaeological site over here, but I would rather we look into these worlds as soon as possible.
Secured.
Notice the auto pause there. That's a habit I'm still going to have to focus to break, but whenever you do complete a technology, which we just did, the game will now pause because I set it up to do that. Did that in the first episode in case you missed it. So, I think we have the choice of carrier operations for fighters, essentially, geothermal fracking to improve our mining output, and planetary build speed plus 25%. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for geothermal fracking first. That's a good baseline technology to have locked down. There we are, getting this research station built, so we'll be able...
Complete.
That's very nice. We'll be able to start harvesting some minor artifacts. Alright, we got our lump sum of unity. And also, we have access to campaign edicts now. Oh, pause the game. See, there we go. It happened. I hit the pause button expecting to need to do so, but of course it had already done it for me. So we have a monthly unity bonus here. Alright, so for our new choice, we can go with an edicts fund improvement. We can unlock the hydroponics farms, which I almost never go for this very early unless there's a food problem, and right now I'm not seeing that. And then the off-world trading company would produce additional trade value. I like the idea of maybe having a higher edicts fund as soon as possible, though. Speaking of that, let's take a close look at what's available to us here. So, interesting. Yeah, let me go ahead and turn on both of these. Fortify the border and information quarantine. There's a bit of a launch price, but once they're going, which they are now, we have faster starbase upgrade speeds and more starbase capacity, and this ensures that we have a little bit higher stability amongst the Sundrian peoples, which, if we're facing a mass extinction, you know, could actually be a good thing. Crashed ore freighter. After identifying an anomaly in the gravity well of 49F89T, the ATS Corb has discovered the shattered wreckage of an ancient ore superfreighter buried deep within the asteroid's crust. It must have carried a full load when it crashed, and the asteroid's mineral wealth has been revised accordingly. Excellent. Alright, so that's all in the Sheridan system. We are almost done with our industrial complex, industrial district in Ferris Mandate. So let's go ahead and get this system added to our territory. Leader level up, Executor Candrith. Very nice. So he currently is principled and has private mines. We can upgrade private mines and get additional mining income. We can also add a trait. We can add Fertility Preacher, or we can add Politician. Now, this would ensure that all the counselors gain more experience. I really like that idea. And this would give additional pop growth speed and additional food from farmer jobs. Oof. I like the idea. Yeah, we're going to go with politician. We don't have any factions yet, but let's go with politician so that our counselors can earn more experience. We're going to lean into that a little bit this series just to experience the different possibilities that the new system has to offer in this expansion. Typically on my channel, when I start a new playthrough, I don't go for like the obvious thing. A really good example of this is when Megacorp came out years back. It's amazing how long ago it's been now. When Megacorp came out, I guess it wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it, right? Everything over the past 2 or 3 years feels like a long time ago, especially anything preceding that. But when Megacorp came out, I did not actually play as a Megacorp civilization or a Megacorp race. It just wasn't the choice that I made. So that's an example. Like, I tend not to go for like explicitly like the thing that is most how would you say this? I don't go for the mainline feature of any new expansion. I don't, like when Federations came out, I actually did do a Federation building, empire then, but I don't do that as a rule. So we're going to lean into the new leader mechanics a lot here, but still, play a basic game of Stellaris and see what the experience of the entire game is like rather than focusing over much on the expansion content. A colossal impact crater hints that something big collided with the surface of this planet once. Let's go ahead and research that. That is the, what's this called? The Murfrid system. Good amount of society research available to me there. That's nice. So we're very close to one of the planets that we need to research. I actually think that if you complete this mass extinction through the ages, you get some pretty nice bonuses. It's not just a matter of staving off this incredible, negative event. It's possible that you might actually get something good out of it. Energy credits from technicians, energy credits from Starbase. All right, so we're producing a little bit more energy now. Yeah, let's go ahead and increase our survey speed. I'm not seeing any threats just yet, and I've played as fairly defensive empires for the last couple of runs on the channel, so it's not that I won't be defensive here. We're xenophobic, but let's go in a slightly different direction. FTL Impact. A massive crater on Murfrid 2 appears to be the result of a collision with a starship. From the size of the crater, we suspected the ship exiting a hyperlane at maximum velocity rammed the planet for reasons unknown roughly 10,000 years ago. The ATS Caderanis has picked up residual subspace echoes near the crash site reminiscent of a collapsed hyperparticulate field, but as the ship itself disintegrated on impact, the theory cannot be verified. Remarkable. So that's good. We've actually gotten a good lump sum of all 3 basic research categories in the last little while. All right, so let's go ahead and send this construction ship to incorporate the Sheridan system. And I'm pausing because where is my science ship? Oh, they're right there. They're still in Sheridan. Okay, so you're moving to Shudenia. Oh, that's perfect. Well, I don't know, it's interesting because I can see this planet down here and I kind of do want to, tell you what, let's be a little bit more brazen than I typically would be. Let's go for these. Let's try and get to these before too much time passes because you never know. This might be our only chance. These systems could get subsumed in some other empire's borders and we'd never have access to them again. So let's get that taken care of. I'm going to move my construction ship to Murfrid. Looks like we do have a new tradition available. Now we have a choice. Starbase upkeep a little bit cheaper, or empire size from systems and planets reduced by 25%. Yeah, let's go for that. We're still below 100 empire size, so we're not suffering penalties yet, but still. Empress mandates. All right, once again, we have a housing need, and I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to do an industrial district on Empress mandate.
Star system charted.
The job is not going to get filled right away, but once a job is available, we will get increases to both our consumer goods and our alloys. All right, extra minerals from miners, very good. All right, in this case, I'm going to be very basic and just go for the coil gun upgrade. So we have a newer mainline mass driver weapon. Seems like a good idea for a xenophobic empire. All right, so we are finally about to arrive at one of the target systems.
Complete.
Mass extinction Chili planet. The planet of interest in this system is covered in layer upon layer of dense ices of varying composition. Apparently, it was once home to more varied and pleasant biomes. A special project has been issued to investigate this possibility.
Situation log updated.
Yeah, see, I think you get these projects, and they yield dividends. Like, I get a lot of research, I think, from this, as well as other bonuses that I can't recall because it's been a while, as I mentioned last episode, since I've gotten this event. But I'm pretty excited about it. All quiet, by the way. I don't want to jinx it, but all quiet in terms of the just galactic stage. Haven't encountered anyone yet. Helito is missing planets. All calculations point to the existence of several more celestial bodies, yet they are nowhere. Is this here, I guess? Yeah. Yet they are nowhere to be found in the system. Sensors have been recalibrated and numbers rechecked, but the theory stands disproven by reality. We've marked the missing planetoids' positions on our star charts. Perhaps a closer scan of the system could reveal more. Fascinating. Well, that sounds like it deserves investigation. Tell you what, let's keep going towards the target system for now. But then I want you to come back and survey there, and then survey here. Ferris Mandate has another opening. Now, in this case, we're starting to run low on amenities, so I am going to choose the city district. This is something I'm going to do a lot. I won't always vocalize it through the series, but it's a strategy I tend to follow. So I'll look at the amenities totals, and when amenities are high, that's when I feel comfortable doing what I've been describing when it comes to addressing a housing shortage by building a job district. But I build a city district when it's clear that we are going to need some additional amenities. Again, you don't get a ton of amenities from city districts, but you can partially address the issue while also providing yourself with a building that, could actually give you more amenities. All right, so I'm going to build this Starbase in Murfred. That system named Murfred is throwing me off. I think I just said Starbrace. At least I feel like I did. But anyway, we are... Here we go. All right, no rewards in the prompt, but maybe there are rewards when you get the entire thing finished. It's not quite like the... Oh, what's the name of the chain? Where you go around collecting the various different animals. Not xenomorphs. But that chain you actually get... And also the... Well, no, not with the Habitable Worlds chain. But when you go and collect the unique specimens of those various creatures, you get research rewards with the completion of every single one. It's really cool. So, unfortunately, that's not happening here. Anyway, an unnatural shift in the atmosphere's chemical makeup resulted in the slow but irreversible onset of an ice age, one that began before the formation of the High Dominion of Syndar and is likely to persist long after our passing. The exact cause remains unknown, but probable explanations include failed terraforming attempts or even intraplanetary terrorism. Some of the more radical elements within the scientific community on Syndar Prime suggest that the dramatic climate shift may have been brought on by the unchecked emission of gaseous industrial byproduct into the atmosphere. This view is confined to the scientific fringe, as it is unlikely that any race intelligent enough to achieve full industrialization would be stupid enough to accidentally wipe themselves out. Wow. Wow, you guys. Oh my god. I genuinely... If I've read that before, it's been a long time. Because... oh my god, that cracks me up. Yeah, it's confined to the scientific fringe, because,
Construction complete.
that would never happen. Alright, there's a Savannah world in Uskomia. Let's go ahead and build these, especially the research station. That's going to be very helpful. Notice that a job opportunity has popped up while we are building this industrial district in Empress Mandate. So as soon as it finishes, not only will we address the housing, but we'll address the unemployed pops as well. So that's working out. These mining stations are already being built.
Anomaly found.
Glowing webs of unknown origin periodically illuminate the surface of Carenza 3A. Research, please. Tell me more. Alright, we've reached the Broken Planet. Our astronomers are confident that the asteroid belt in this system was once a habitable planet, torn asunder by unknown forces. A special project has been issued to study one of the major asteroids in the belt.
Situation log
Alright,
updated.
let's see what we've got. let's go ahead and... Yeah, there's an ocean world here. That's very interesting. Tell you what, I'm going to redo this order chain. Research the projects. How big is this system? Yeah, that won't take long. Just survey that system. Survey that system. Survey that system. I feel like Helito... I feel like there's a significance to that system, and I'm going to want it in my territory as soon as possible. I'm curious about that. All right, we have 4 available... I wanted to check on that. We have 4 available envoys. This number up here, because envoys are now shown under the leader capacity UI element, envoys are shown in the parentheses there. In case you're wondering what that number was, envoys. That's the answer. All right, so economically we're doing okay at the moment. Pretty decent start. Just need to keep an eye on things and hopefully have another colony before long, maybe. Life Electric. Science Officer Corb, daughter of Dirk, reports that Carenza 3A is covered from pole to pole in a web-like network of electrical filaments. These networks respond to external stimuli. The ATS Caderanis experimented with sending a low-voltage pulse to the surface, which resulted in a wave of illumination that rippled through the network like a circuit board. Even more remarkably, the webs rearranged themselves. A second low-voltage pulse revealed that the filaments had been organized into a new pattern, centered around where the previous pulse had contacted the surface of Carenza 3A. Corb, daughter of Dirk, concludes that this discovery confirms her long-held theory that life can exist as almost purely electrical impulses independent of cellular or viral structure. Disturbing. Okay, so now we have, for Corb, we have a new trait pick. This is a veteran level. So we can give her... Corb is actually the head of research, so the Explorer bonus is best for researchers that are just in science ships. Researcher is the one that you really want, because this is providing an actual research speed boost. We can also go with Analyst if she's in a science ship, because that's helping with assisting research on planets. But I'm going to select Researcher, so that we get the veteran trait. So she's now veteran class Researcher, and she has the...
Special project
research.
complete.
So it's not actually a trait in this list, but is associated with her veteran class, which is that she's providing 7% additional research speed. Mass extinction asteroid. The asteroid is in actuality a chunk of what was once a habitable and probably inhabited planet. Regular but overlapping fracture patterns indicate that the planetary demolition was intentional and controlled, if somewhat rushed. All signs point to this planet being the homeworld of whatever species destroyed it. We may never know what drove them to consider planetary annihilation to be the lesser evil, and perhaps we should be grateful for that. Does it have something to do with that archaeological site, maybe? Is there some connection? I'm joking. It's very, very unlikely. As interconnected as a lot of the narrative elements are in Stellaris, there are a few things that are that interconnected.
Technology secured.
Okay, I'm going to leave that be for now. That's a challenging anomaly. The progress we make calls for a new, nimbler form of administration that may aid rather than hinder us in our pursuits. Nice. So now we are not over on our edicts cap anymore. We were slightly over it when I launched those 2 edicts, but not anymore. All right, so we do have glaciers on our planets. So I'm going to go ahead and research this so it can be done. I tend to put off blockers way too long. So let's address that by, not doing that. Probably a good idea. Also, I'm going to start patrolling with the first Star Order. Probably a good idea as well. All right, the Ferris Mandate and Syndar Prime both have building slots, but not much else I can do at the moment.
Construction complete.
All right, we're exploring the Ranction system. Hopefully we'll be done soon-ish. Yeah, we do have an ocean world there.
Anomaly
Not the best
found.
planet for us, but it's there. A large amount of ship debris can be found in orbit around this moon, possibly the remnants of some kind of massive fleet action. Okay. Have we... I don't think we've discovered our precursors yet. No, we have not. So that could give us our precursors. Right there. A little bit farther away than is typical, but I'll take it. Alright, I do want to visit these 2 planets. So I think, as I mentioned
Star
earlier,
system charted.
what I would like to do as soon as possible is maybe after
Technology
Carenza has been
secured.
searched, I'm going to send this ship directly out that direction. All right, survey speed plus 25%. Ooh, I can improve research station output, get the fusion reactor, or go for the energy grid and unlock the capacity subsidies edict. Let's go for the research station boost for now. That only affects stations, not researchers on planets. But, you know, Murfred, for example, has a good amount of society research, so we'll get something from that. There is clear evidence that a massive space battle took place in close orbit of Carenza B2A at some point in the last 5,000 years. The surface on one side of the moon is pockmarked with craters from stray weapons blasts, and scans from the ATS Caderanis have picked up several hulks on the ground. Though these wrecked ships are all in very poor condition, the fact that anything remains at all after the damage they must have sustained is a testament to their advanced design. Science Officer Corb, daughter of Dirk, is preparing an expedition to sift through these derelict hulls for any valuable technologies. So we've got our graveyard expedition. All right, Enthras Mandate once again. All right, so same thing here. We're going to do a city district now that we are looking at fewer amenities available. Yes! Oh, this just gets better and better. We have recovered artifacts from an ancient alien civilization on Rooklar 4. Incredibly, the civilization, which apparently referred to itself as the Cybrix, seems to have been made up of machines that were linked together in some sort of collective consciousness. The age of the artifacts indicate they were active some 600,000 years ago, in this portion of the galaxy at least, but we have learned nothing of their exact origins. According to a partial data fragment that our scientists managed to extract from one of the artifacts, the Cybrix at some point launched a crusade to destroy all sapient organic life in the galaxy for reasons unknown.
Situation log updated.
Interesting. All right, well, we're working on the graveyard expedition. Oh, that's a really big deal. And I'm a little bit nervous, too, to tell you the truth. There's a part of me that questions whether or not I want to say this out loud. Ooh, hold that thought. We've made first contact with mysterious aliens in the Verakus black hole system. For now, we have codenamed them the Sin Menace until we can find out more about them. If they possess, what do we have here? This is an alien empire. If they possess a language, we should decipher it so that we can assess how much of a threat they pose. Which system is this? Okay, we've got to get over to these systems as soon as possible. Yeah, let's go ahead and assign an envoy. Amik, daughter of Satu. You are going to help us figure out what's going on with these guys. And as soon as you finish the graveyard expedition, oh my god, I'm going to send you straight to those two planets. Syndar Prime is in an uproar following the news of unidentified ships sighted in the void. Their intentions unknown, it would be prudent to assume the worst. Worrying. Definitely xenophobes. It's probably good to just assume everything's going to kill us. That seems like a sensible course of action. That's what the Syndar or the Sundrians just said. Okay, so need some amenities. A commercial zone wouldn't be the worst thing. The nice thing about commercial zones is that these jobs just produce trade value to amenities. Whereas holo theaters, you get a lot more amenities. And you get unity. Decent amount of unity, at least. I've already got... Yeah, I kind of want to go for holo theaters just so that everything stays nice and stable here. Yeah, Autoton Monument doesn't produce... We're not going to build the Autoton Monument yet because it only produces unity for Ascension perks that we have. So it's a good building to have, but not right away. You don't need the Autoton Monument immediately. I don't want to have an amenities issue, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the holo theaters on Syndar Prime, just as a reminder for kind of who we are as a species. We are quarrelsome and we are decadent. So that happiness dip, while we still have the decadent trait, which we'll maybe gene mod that out when we have the opportunity, is going to affect, you know, just how easy or hard it is to keep the Sundrians happy with their situations. The team under Science Officer Corb, daughter of Dirk, has finished their expedition on Carenza B2A and returned to the ATS Caderanas. Thankfully, the starship graveyard on the surface proved to be a technological treasure trove. Studying the remains of these vessels has advanced our research in certain fields by several years, and there are yet things to discover. A permanent science outpost in orbit would be a great boon to our starship engineering efforts. Excellent. So, what was that thing I was afraid to say a second ago? Again, I still am not sure that I want to say it out loud, but I'm going to say it anyway. The build that we used, the specific branch that we were logged into as creators in Steam, for those of us that had early access to Galactic Paragons, has a small issue. It's not game-breaking, I'm playing it right now, but it's impossible to switch back to the mainline release branch right now, and I don't know how long they're going to leave the beta branch up, because if I switch back to the mainline release branch, I can play Galactic Paragons, but this save doesn't work. Yeah, that's why this episode's a little bit late today, by the way, because I was trying to figure out what exactly was going on and see if there was a solution. But there's a small chance that everything good that's happening right now with the beginning of this series, there's a small chance we'll have to restart. Very common in Stellaris series on this channel and on any channel, if you're doing a gameplay series, to like restart after a few episodes because bad starts happen. This isn't necessarily a bad start, but we might have to restart on a good start, which would stink. And hopefully there's a solution to that. But anyway, that's very administrative and technical, but I wanted to mention that since we're getting towards the end of the episode, because it is something that's definitely on my mind, frustrating as it may be. All right, so we're going to send this science ship before we get locked out of anyone's borders by first contact. Oh, wow.
Star system
That is a
chart.
lot of science ships. They have a lot of science ships out. That's intense.
Secured.
All right, we have unlocked the coil gun. Yeah, I think we need that. Let's go ahead and research Corvette and frigate hull points. And it looks like we have a first contact event pending. We've managed to pick up a clear audio feed of conversations between several Menace ships. While our linguists are still none the wiser as to the meaning of any of the words they are recording, they are optimistic that this new signal will help them make significant progress towards a breakthrough. Excellent. So we've just gained 2 more insights. It looks like we will also need to work on... You know what? Here, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go for commercial zone here. I'm going to do something different than what I did on Syndar Prime. All right, we do have more amenities now, which is nice.
Anomaly found.
Helito. There are an unusual amount of hyperlanes in this system. Usually we would dismiss these as too small to facilitate a spaceship, but the sheer amount is intriguing in and of itself. Yeah, this reminds me of something that came out with First Contact. Leave that be for now, because I want to finish surveying and then we'll come back. We also have a leader level up. So this is our just basic scientist that's out searching around. So we can give them archaeologist, which would actually be quite nice. Let's do that. Having 2 archaeologists as opposed to just 1? Heck yes. All right, this scientist needed a few more orders. I want you to go to both of these systems as soon as possible, please. All right, I'm very nervous about how many science ships I'm seeing just running around. Mass extinction, noxious planet. Allegedly, this planet's flora and fauna choked on their own poisonous emissions, likely helped along by the release of reactive gases from beneath the planet's crust. A special project has been issued to investigate the matter.
Situation log updated.
All right, so let's go ahead and run that research project as soon as possible, because as soon as we get locked down in here, we're going to have a real problem. Following the sighting of unidentified spacecraft in the Verakus black hole system, all forces in the vicinity have been ordered to assume a heightened state of readiness as per standard protocol. Intelligence is still analyzing what little data we have on the bogey, but it appears capable of hyperspace travel. Offensive capabilities remain unknown, as this likely represents our first contact with a new alien civilization. We should take steps to decipher their communications. Let's nab some of them for closer investigation. Okay, let's keep at it. I'm not going to take the super aggressive step first. We're going to be a little bit intelligent about it. Doesn't mean that we aren't playing, that we're not playing the role, but we're going to go in a different direction than just the purely xenophobic aggressive first encounter. Alright, let's see what else we can do with these construction ships, if anything. Not a lot at the moment. We're still investigating Helito. How long is this project going to take? Okay, not too long. I really want to get to this planet as soon as possible. I'm super nervous about it.
Special project complete.
Okay. The cracks in the planet's crust, first presumed to be the result of significant tectonic activity, are actually the lasting marks of impossibly large roots burrowing through the Earth. At some point in the distant past, a freak mutation, possibly deliberately induced by sapient beings, though it is unlikely they could have predicted the result, caused the native plant life to grow out of control. Many of these plants reproduce through pollination, with countless gametes carried by currents through the lower atmosphere. While this process was originally only cause for mild irritation, the exponential increase in atmosphere-borne particles effectively choked the life out of all animals on the planet in a matter of months. Oh my god. That's like me at the beginning of frickin' Clandestine Curiosity. Although I don't think that was pollen. That's still, like, unnervingly close to home for me right now. Okay, so we're finally researching the Galaman system. I'm going to send my construction ship that direction so we can incorporate that, because this is actually a pretty significant system to go ahead and nab. A planet in the system still wears the fossilized traces of a past ecology on its sleeve. What could turn a thriving biosphere into a blasted wasteland? A special project has been issued.
Situation log updated.
All right, let's go ahead and study that project. Again, as soon as this first contact completes, we can find ourselves in the territory of another empire. So I'm just trying to, be as cautious as possible with that in mind and get this stuff done. The only remaining planet in the quest is over here. It's reasonably accessible to me. So I'm excited about that. Galaman is a binary system. Well, not quite. It's two different stars. Well, yeah, it's binary, but it's just the two stars are not like super close together. So you have orbits around each. All right, nice. We can clear those blockers. I definitely am going to go for the pop growth speed research. I'm glad I got that one immediately. That's pretty handy. All right, so we have some blockers that I can clear. Relatively cheap to do so as well. And that'll give us access to all of our additional slots. Okay, so let's see if we can finish this project here.
Special project complete.
We might be able to get all of it before I end the episode. Let's see. Life on the now barren planet was sadly doomed from the start. As if by some cruel stellar conspiracy, the dominant species on the planet barely had enough time to awaken to sapience and invent agriculture before, through unfortunate geological mechanisms, the Earth started turning sour. Samples from lower soil strata and the fossilized remains of the creatures that once roamed the planet showed that several vital minerals needed to rejuvenate the soil ended up, through their largely agricultural diet, in the endoskeletons of the native beings. Their bones were prone to fossilize rather than decay, and their very existence exhausted the fragile ecosystem they inhabited, leaving it permanently transformed in the wake of their passing. So that'd be crazy. Like, their remains are still there as fossils, and the nutrients that once enabled the planet to live are all trapped within the skeletal remains of that fossilized species. That's crazy. I love that. All right, so I'm going to send this science ship. That's everything now. So I'm going to send them back to Carenza. We're going to try and take control of as much of this area as possible. I'm a little bit nervous about this cluster now. But what I really want to do, after you finish Galaman, before I end this episode, we're going to explore that final planet. There's not a lot left for Galaman. Toxic terraforming candidate discovered where? In Galaman? Nice. Fascinating. So we can terraform that planet with a certain technology that's available, which we won't necessarily pursue, but we'll have the option. Is this that's a science ship. Okay. What are you doing? All right, you're surveying. Yeah, we need to get over there as soon as possible. We've mostly surveyed the Carenza system. The language of the Sin Menace contains millions of seemingly redundant sounds, apparently dialectic hangovers from their precursor civilizations. When translated, these apparently superfluous filler words seem to serve no purpose other than to add linguistic flavor, or at most, have only minor contextual implications. Thankfully, our linguists have narrowed down the obsolete aspects of their language and are now compiling an abridged lexicon, which should prove very useful for efficient communication with the Sin Menace. Understood. So we're learning a little bit more about them. Ooh, there are signs of activity by an ancient precursor civilization on this inhospitable rock. Leave B for now. That's a little bit too hard.
Technology secured.
All right, we have the research station boost. I am going to go ahead and go for the research speed boost as well. I'm going to angle towards that as hard as I can.
Blocker cleared.
Hidden Worlds. The crew clearing the glacier on Ferris Monday has made a breathtaking discovery. Lodged kilometers deep within the ice is a colossal alien space station. Architecturally stunning and built with technology far superior to our own, it is a true work of art. So this is on our very first colony. The station appears to have crashed to the surface, surviving the impact thanks to its unusual shielding capacities, which our scientists are now eager to examine. Regrettably, an archaeological excavation would prevent us from working the land until its completion. We will excavate the site. Nice. So we continue to gain archaeological sites to look into. That's very nice.
Star system.
Yeah, before I end this episode, we're definitely going to go ahead and get Galamon in my territory, and also Helito, and also Rooklar. Actually, wait, no. Let's do one at a time. All right, they're already building that starbase. Yeah, they're already there. So we'll take care of that. I just want to make sure I don't overspend on influence. But we have our scientist heading over to the final planet. It's nice to knock all of these out in one episode, and I feel like we're right around the corner from doing that, so let's get it done. All right, we're now exploring
Construction complete.
Carenza, or what's left of Carenza. We've looked into Galamon here. Looks like those science ships are looking around down here.
Blocker cleared.
I do want to go ahead and build a starbase in Helito next. But we have our science ship heading to that system, and they will be there in 233 days. That is worth the wait.
Secured.
Corvette hull points and frigate hull points plus 10%. Nice. I am going to go ahead and research better armor, ceramic metal armor, because we could use that possibly against our friends. Oh, and I have forgotten to start our patrol, so let's get that going. It's a very simple patrol at the moment, but a patrol nevertheless. I'm going to send this construction ship down to Carenza so that we can incorporate that into our territory as soon as possible. And the science ship is now just one jump away. Ooh, hello. 3 Arctic worlds in the middle of that cluster. Holy crap.
Blocker cleared.
That's actually going to be good for us. I mean, we use Alpine worlds, not Arctic, but we can do that. It won't be ideal, but we can do it. All right, Anthris mandates. You have a new slot available. I am going to go for maybe commercial zones here too. Might not be the worst idea, just to generate additional energy, but also the unity and amenities. Yeah, let's do more commercial zones, just to keep amenities under control. Mass extinction burned planet. Last one. One of the planets orbiting this star still bears the still open wounds. Never mind. Of some past calamity. Its surface is a roiling sea of half-melted minerals boiling into a superheated atmosphere, but the Sundrian astronomers claim that it may once have supported life.
Situation
Special project has been set up. Oh my god, there are a ton of planets here. All right, we're just going to look at this one and see what happens with the event before we wrap up. A little bit longer of an episode than I would typically go for, but it's okay. Sin Menace. Our attempts to learn more about the Sin Menace have so far been in vain. While we were easily able to ascertain that they clearly form part of a technologically advanced alien civilization, further facts have proven elusive, as they seem to be going to considerable effort to prevent us and any other eavesdroppers from intercepting any signals from them while they're exploring all of our territory. We have therefore only managed to intercept small fragments of their language so far. However, from the glimpses we have gleaned, our linguists are confident that they will be able to decipher their communications if we can just acquire a greater sample size. A proposal has been drawn up for somewhat more aggressive information gathering. Some may call it hacking, but they will surely not take kindly should they detect it. Let's say it's too risky for now. Okay, so we have these hostile aliens. So we've got hostile neighbors. That's an interesting development. All right, it does look like we've finished Carenza, so let's go ahead and add that to our territory. And the final planet in the quest chain is being researched as we speak.
Construction complete.
Nice. Let's go ahead and get these mining stations built. And then I want you to build a starbase in Ruklar as well.
Special project complete.
All right, here we go. The unfortunate fate of the planet can be laid squarely at the feet of cosmic whims. Some gravitational disturbance. After eyeing the system's sun with some suspicion, our scientists named a transient space-time anomaly as the likely culprit, forced the planet from its natural orbit to one much too close to the sun. Although the planet is slowly spiraling out towards its original orbit, it has been cooking in the residual heat from the star ever since. Okay. Mass extinction. Study complete. While the research expedition often yielded unexpected results, Sundrian scientists now have access to an unprecedented wealth of data with which to accurately model the future of Syndar Prime. Initial reports suggest that Syndar Prime will be in no real danger for at least a dozen generations, save from freak cosmic events or the violent collapse of the High Dominion of Syndar. So we can get some research. What else can we learn from these planets? Or we can get some influence and some unity. I'm going to go ahead and go for the research. What else can we learn from these planets? First contact event pending. Our attempts to decode the language used in the signals from the Sin Menace have hit a setback. It seems that a key assumption our linguists had been relying on in the translations has been conclusively disproven. While this means much of our progress will have to be revised, at least our future efforts will hopefully be built upon a more reliable basis. Unfortunate. Okay, well, we have a council agenda ready, but before I do that, I'm going to stop this episode here because we've completed the event chain. We've averted, hopefully, the climate disaster mentioned at the beginning, and we've encountered potentially hostile neighbors while also having some interesting anomalies to discover and archaeological sites to dig through. And we have the Cybrix as a precursor. So great start. Again, as I mentioned earlier, might have to restart it. That would stink, but if I can find a workaround, I will. Or if there's a solution that gets provided, then I'll obviously use that. But I'm going to stop this one here, and in the next one we're going to continue with our brand new High Dominion 2 series. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and additional perks. New episodes are coming out every day at 3 p.m. US Eastern Time, and comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.